Hello. For this video, we will be talking about how lead time will affect your model. If you remember the past four models that we have been discussing, we have been assuming that lead time is zero, meaning if you order now, you will be able to get all your order uh, at the same time, which means there is no lag between you doing the order and you actually receiving your units. If we go back to the four models that we've discussed, model 1, 2, 3, and 4, what we have here are the reorder points in terms of the inventory level, assuming that lead time is zero. For example, for model number 1, assuming that lead time is zero, then you will order when your inventory level is equal to zero. Okay? If you remember, the graph of model number 1 looks like this. And in this case, you are ordering at this point, and in this point, your inventory level is equal to zero. On the other hand, for model number 2 graph looks like this. Okay? And if you remember, you will be ordering your queue at this point in time. And this point in terms of your inventory level is S minus Q. Remember that S is the height of the graph above the x-axis and Q is the total increase, including the one below. And that is why S minus Q is the level here. Next, for model 3, if you remember the graph, it looks like this. And it is at this point in time where you will be doing your orders, which is where your inventory level is equal to zero. And finally, for model number 4, we have this graph. And for this graph, it is at this point where you will be doing your order. And that point is equal to h over 2. So how does lead time affect your model? Well, if you have a lead time in your model, then logically speaking, you will have to do some timing in when you will be ordering. What do we mean by this? Because you won't be able to receive your orders right away, then you need to order in advance so that you can take into consideration the time between the order and you actually receiving the order. And in this case, how much in advance will you be ordering? The L, the lead time that is indicated by your supplier is the amount of time before your original reorder point. Let me explain via an example. So let's say our model is model number 2, and of course our original reorder point is at S minus Q. So in this case, this is your S. This is your S minus Q. Okay. Now, let's say let's say you have an L, you have a lead time. And in this case, assuming that if L is 0, you are ordering at this point in time, okay, at this particular X, then if you now have a particular lead time, then you will just move back. And let's say your lead time is here or this much. Now, because the variable R is the reorder point, and the reorder point is in terms of inventory, then what you need to do is to get L units before this ordering point, which is at this point, and what you need to do is identify this part of the graph. Why? Because in this case, this inventory level, no, this inventory level this inventory level is the inventory level where that will signal you to reorder your inventory. So how do you get this? The idea is your original reorder point, which is S minus Q. Okay, so from here, what happened? There is a movement up. Okay, so what happens is you will be adding some units to S minus Q because there is a movement up. Okay, and how much inventory are you moving up along this line? So how high is this? What's actually happening right now is between this point and this point, you are actually selling or consuming or using your inventory. And therefore, the rate at which your inventory level is going down is A. Remember that A is the demand rate. Okay? And therefore, if you want to know the height of this well the height between this and this, then that is essentially the rate, the demand rate, times the amount of time. Okay, so just to give you a specific example, let's say S minus Q is let's say negative 10, and let's say A is let's say 15, and let's say L is 2. So what does this mean? Originally, if you don't have a lead time, then you will be ordering when you already have accumulated 10 units of shortage. However, because you have 2 units lead time, whatever the unit is, whether it's day, weeks, or month, no, whatever, and let's say your usage rate, your demand rate is 15 per unit of time. Therefore, if you multiply the two, this will give you 30, and this 30 will tell you how much buffer you need so that you can determine at what point in your inventory level you need to order. So in this case, your new reorder point is equal to negative 10, that's your S minus Q, plus 30. Or in this case, you reorder already when your inventory level is at 20. Why? Because at inventory level 20, it will take you 2 weeks, no, at a rate of 15 units per week. It will take you 2 weeks before this becomes negative 10. And remember, negative 10 is the optimal amount of shortage in this case. And because you have a 2 week lead time, then when you order your inventory at inventory level 20, then after 2 weeks, no, you will be able to receive your orders at this point in time. Okay? Now, let's say we do model number three. And in model number three, the original reorder point is at 0. And remember, in model number three, you actually can divide the cycle into two components or two parts. This left side, which we will identify to be during T1 na, time, and this right side to be during T2 time. Now, why do we need to identify the two different times, T1 and T2, in this case versus in model number two, where, if you remember a while ago, we did we didn't ident need we didn't need to identify the two different times here, no? T1 and T2. What is different now? What is different is that in T1, your graph is actually increasing. Okay? And in this case, your graph is increasing at the rate of B minus A. So this is increasing at the rate of B minus A. B, if you remember, is the supply rate. A is the demand rate. Okay? On the other hand, during T2 time, your inventory level is decreasing at the rate of A. And therefore, and therefore, if you now have a lead time, uh, assuming model number three, then your new reorder point is equal to zero, okay, plus AL, okay, if if your L is within T2. What do I mean by this? If, let's say, your L is within this part of the graph, and let's say this is L, then all you need to do is identify this part of the graph. What you can do now, what you can do now is to have this point as your reference point, and the reference point is zero, no, at this point. And if you look at the difference between the two, you're actually increasing, diba? Which means from zero, you are adding some value. And how much is this increase? How much is this height? This height is essentially the rate at which this goes up times the amount of time, which is L. Okay? On the other hand, what if your L is this long? Okay? So if your L is this long, then you're actually looking for this point. Okay? And how do you determine this point? You can actually use two reference points. The first reference point you can use is zero, and from zero, so your new R is equal to zero, okay, zero, and then you're moving upwards. So plus the rate at which you are moving up is, remember, B minus A. And then, how long is this? That is times T, the cycle time, the entire cycle, which is T minus L. Okay? The other way of determining this point is coming from this reference point. So the reference point is an H, no? This point, no? That's an H. Okay? And from this point to this point, what happened? From H to this point, you are actually decreasing. No? This is going down. And how much are you decreasing your inventory level? Again, the rate is B minus A. And you need to multiply by this length. And how long is this length? If it is L minus T2. So these two are the formula if L is within T1 area. Okay? In fact, to make it complete, assuming that L is within T2, then the new reorder point can actually be computed using this reference point. So assume that L is here. If your L is within T2, then again, you're looking for this point. Okay? You're looking for this point. Let me erase this. Oops, sorry. No? So you're looking for this point. And because you're using this as your reference point, which is H, okay? And moving from here to here, you're actually decreasing inventory. So you need to subtract. At what rate you are decreasing? You are decreasing at the rate of A. And how long is this? That is T2 minus L. Okay? So these are the two formulas if your L is within T2. I will now leave it up to you to determine the reorder point given model number 4. But remember that in model number 4, there are actually 4 parts of your cycle. Okay? So remember, your entire cycle is this part. So this is your entire T. But we can actually subdivide your cycles into 4 components. This is T1, this is T2, this is T3, and this is T4. And in this case, you will have actually 3 reference points. Where are the 3 reference points? First, you can use the lowest part of your graph, which is H2. You can also use the highest part of your graph, which is H1. And you can also use your zero inventory level. Okay? I will leave it up to you to be able to determine the different formulas for in getting the lead time, no, assuming model number 4. But the concept will still be the same.